You've probably seen Maslow's pyramid pretty much everywhere. But what if the pyramid you know is incomplete? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of psychology's most famous ideas and find the hidden layers of the hierarchy of needs.
So let me ask you something straight up. What really drives you? I mean, deep down, is it about feeling secure? Is it finding your tribe? Or is it something else entirely? Just hang on to that thought. I'm willing to bet you recognize this pyramid. It's practically a celebrity in the world of psychology. But here's the thing. It's also a massive oversimplification. The real story is so much more dynamic and, honestly, way more interesting than just a simple stack of blocks.
Okay, so this whole thing got started with Abraham Maslow. He was one of the pioneers of what's called humanistic psychology. And way back in 1943, in his paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, he basically proposed this idea that all of our actions are driven by a set of needs that we're all born with, and they're arranged in a very specific order.
So let's start with the classic model, the one everybody knows. Maslow's original theory breaks our needs down into 5 distinct levels. We're going to start at the very bottom and work our way up.
All right, it all begins at the foundation, with our physiological needs. The absolute must-haves: food, water, sleep. Can't do anything without them. Once those are more or less handled, our brain immediately shifts to safety, things like job security, your health, a stable home. Next up, we get into our social side, the need for love and belonging. This is all about friends, family, feeling connected to a group. From there, we climb to esteem. And this is two-sided. It's getting respect from other people, but it's also, and this is key, building a real sense of your own achievement and self-respect. And finally, at the classic peak, you've got self-actualization. This is that deep, deep drive to become the best possible version of yourself, to reach your full potential.
But, just listing the levels doesn't really tell you how the pyramid works. The real engine driving this whole thing is the difference between two very different kinds of needs.
And this is where it gets really brilliant. Maslow basically split the pyramid in two. Those bottom 4 levels, he called them deficiency needs. Think of them like a car's empty gas tank. You're motivated because you lack something. Once you've filled a tank, once the need is met, that motivation just fades away. But that top level, self-actualization, that's a growth need. This is totally different. It's not about filling a void. It's about expanding who you are. And the craziest part? The more you feed this need, the stronger the motivation gets. It just keeps growing.
Now, a really common mistake people make is thinking you have to be 100% satisfied on one level before you can even think about the next. But Maslow himself said, no, that's not how it works. It's not an all-or-nothing game. He said a need just has to be more or less satisfied for the next one to start calling to you. So it's really more of a gradual shift in what you're focused on, not a rigid step-by-step climb up a ladder.
Okay, so we've got the 5 levels, and we get the engine that drives them. But what if I told you that the pyramid we all know is basically an unfinished building? It's time to check out the hidden floors. You see, as he got older, Maslow actually started looking at his own model and thinking, something's missing. He realized that the 5-stage version didn't quite capture the full, complex picture of what makes us tick. Is becoming your best self really the final stop on the journey?
Yeah, he knew the original was missing something crucial. So in his later work, he actually expanded it. He added cognitive needs. That's our natural curiosity, our desire to learn and understand the world. Then he included aesthetic needs, our search for beauty, for balance, for form. And then he added a brand new peak, a level above self-actualization, transcendence. This is when our motivation comes from serving something bigger than ourselves, like service to others or dedicating yourself to a cause.
So yeah, that famous 5-level pyramid, it actually evolved into an 8-level hierarchy. That's a much more complete and, honestly, a much more nuanced picture of what it means to be human, don't you think?
Of course, no theory is perfect, and we've got to be real about that. As influential as Maslow's hierarchy is, it's really important to look at it with a critical eye and understand where it falls a little short.
So the main critiques are pretty solid. For one, the theory was mostly based on Maslow's observations, not hard scientific data. It's also been called out for being culturally biased. I mean, it really reflects Western individualistic values. In a lot of collectivist cultures, a sense of belonging might come before anything else. And finally, life is messy. People can be pursuing their creative dreams even when their job security is shaky. We don't always move in a straight line.
And yet, despite all those critiques, the theory is still around, and it's still incredibly useful. Why? Because it works in the real world. In management, it's a great reminder that people need more than just a paycheck. They need to feel safe and part of a team.
In education, it's a no-brainer. A hungry kid or a scared kid just can't focus on learning. And, oh yeah, marketers use this stuff every single day to figure out what fundamental human need their product is really selling you.
There's this famous quote from Maslow that just nails the whole idea of self-actualization. He said, "What a man can be, he must be." Think about that. What he's saying is that there's this unstoppable, innate drive inside all of us to become everything we're capable of becoming. It's not just a nice idea, it's a fundamental human need.
So let's circle all the way back to that first question I asked you. Now that you've seen the full 8-level picture, take a second. Looking at that pyramid, where would you say you're focusing your energy right now, today? The answer might just tell you something really interesting about yourself.